Hi, welcome to another IELTS video. In this brief video, I'm going to explain how you can write more complex sentences without losing control of the grammar in your essay. If you find the video helpful, come join us at the forum ieltsnetwork.com, and for more videos like this one, visit my blog at ielts.com. As you know, complex sentences are considered to be hallmarks of the higher writing bands in IELTS. The problem is that students often take overly ambitious approaches when writing complex sentences, and this often causes their grammar and their coherence to falter, to weaken. So take this example sentence. This is a sentence that I've taken from one of the essays recently posted to ieltsnetwork.com, and it reads, "Firstly, let us look at it from the medical point of view. Incurable diseases that science has been struggling to get a permanent solution to, like cancer, AIDS, will definitely come to pass, so also assessing the internet to get a diagnosis to one's ailment will be easy." And this is the first couple of ideas in the first supporting paragraph of the student's essay, and it's being written in response to a question that states, it's something like technology is improving lifestyles everywhere. Okay, so it's sort of connecting the idea of technology and improving the living standards of people all over the world. So we see some ideas being presented here. The grammar has completely broken down, so it's difficult to pull out the meaning. It's pretty much incoherent, a lot of it, and when I look at the sentence, I feel that the student has started to write before they finished thinking of what they want to say. When candidates lose control of the grammar in their attempts at complex sentences, like what has happened here, it causes them to lose marks across all 4 sections of the IELTS rubric. So I want to share a few tips to show you how you can write complex sentence structures without losing control of the grammar, like we see here. So my tip number 1 is to know what you want to say before you start writing your sentence. My tip number 2 is to recognize that all complex sentences are built upon simple sentences. Okay, so if we look at what's written here, I think we can pull out a few. It's difficult to do because it's almost incoherent, but we can pull out a few simple ideas, and I'm going to write them here as simple sentences. So the simple sentences are, the ideas that I think the student wants to communicate are, technology helps to disperse medical understanding. Okay, I think that was sort of the opening idea. This has provided people with information. This information allows them to prevent disease. Education can occur through the internet. The internet has reduced rates of heart disease and cancer. Okay, so I think these are the few simple ideas that the student was trying to communicate. Now, what you see here on the screen, you see simple sentences, and these are not the kind of sentences that we can submit to our examiner. The ideas are just too simple. The links between the ideas are not clear. My tip number 3 is to use cohesive devices to qualify your ideas and add complexity to your sentences. Okay, so cohesive devices are just the little phrases that help to link thoughts and sentences and paragraphs and different parts of the essay together. So there are phrases like firstly, like for example. Okay. Tip number 4, you can connect simple sentences to create compound sentences. So for example, here we have firstly, technology helps to disperse medical understanding. This has provided people with information. Well, we can link these two ideas together. Now, because these are two independent clauses, we would replace the full stop, and this has provided people with information. This information allows them to prevent disease. Okay, well, why don't we link these two ideas together too? Because we have information and then information, so the repetition is uncomfortable to read. Let's link them with that. So now our opening sentence reads, firstly, technology helps to disperse medical understanding, and this has provided people with information that allows them to prevent disease. Okay, so we're starting to see the logical progression between these simple ideas. Now, tip number 5, it's important to pay attention to details, because it's one thing to write these longer and more complex sentences, and it's a completely other thing to do that and forget to include important commas or to put commas where they're not needed. So as I pointed out, you want to include commas between two independent clauses that are joined by a coordinating conjunction, like the word and. Oops. The word that, we typically don't put a comma before the word that, which is a very common mistake among IELTS students. Tip number 6. Now you can use dependent clauses to frame your ideas and add complexity. So here we have, for example, education can occur through the internet. The internet has reduced rates of heart disease and cancer. So we're repeating the internet. The internet, it's awkward to read. Why don't we link these two ideas together? So we can take out this sentence and turn it into a dependent clause that links nicely with the sentence following. So through its ability to educate, okay, now this can no longer stand as an independent sentence. Through its ability to educate, the internet has reduced rates of heart disease and cancer. Okay, so let's read it from the top. Firstly, technology helps to disperse medical understanding, and this has provided people with information that allows them to prevent disease. For example, through its ability to educate, the internet has reduced rates of heart disease and cancer. So you can see that the progression of the ideas and the way that these ideas link together and help each other prove a point. So in a couple of easy steps, we've taken what was rudimentary level English and turned it into something that is quite academic in tone. Now you're probably wondering what you can do right now to start writing more complex sentences. And my advice is to first practice mentally breaking your ideas down into very simple thoughts. So when you have your simple thoughts in mind, then you're going to want to think of ways to link and frame them. And just about the easiest way to do that is to use cohesive devices. So I've included here a list of linking phrases. These are all cohesive devices. I know it's very small on the screen, but I don't want to go through all of them, so I'm going to provide a link that you can go and check them out for yourself. And I'm complying with the Creative Commons terms that are declared at this website. This is a Wikipedia page. So here you see a bunch of phrases that help to link ideas together in English. And I think as you practice to use these phrases, you'll find that your sentences naturally gain a certain complexity to them. And I should point out that this resource was shared with me by user Rob Drake at IELTSnetwork.com. He put together a very nice post that included all of the different phrases, so thank you for that, Rob Drake. Now, if any of the phrases are new, I'll just share with you a very quick tip that you can use to see the phrases in action, and then you can actively try to use these phrases in your own writing. All you have to do is highlight one of the phrases that you don't know. So let's pretend we don't know it is worth noting that, copy it, and then go to Google and type in BBC, and then between quotation marks, paste your phrase, okay? And what will happen is you will see articles that the BBC has published that use this exact phrase. And you'll see it being used in some creative ways. And what you can do is actively study how the phrase is being used and then apply that phrase to your own writing. So that's about everything I wanted to cover for today. I hope that helps to clarify the mental process that you should be going through when you are creating these complex sentences. Thank you very much for listening, and have a nice evening.